Lactose free, soy cheese. There's nut cheeses now too, which are not. They're not great. I'm still waiting for the technology on that one.
I've tried some of that. I'm like,
good try, guys.
No, thank you.
Good try.
So why are we here?
Welcome.
Who are we? What's going on?
Welcome to the podcast, friends.
Podcast / video stuff, because we don't actually have a podcast on the podcast stuff yet. That made any sense. It's podcast style video, I guess. So
chit chat, coffee time.
Chit chat, coffee time. We might spill some tea if there's any tea to be spilled. We don't really have dramatic lives, so we have to look at other people's lives to do that.
Yep. And the state of the world right now is, hella drama. So we can talk about that too if that happens.
Might have to throw off video for that one. Throw some imaginary punches. I'm not violent. What are you talking about?
Oh, just gotta rearrange. I'm like sitting cross-legged on the bed right now, so my legs are falling asleep.
So we started talking about doing mainly a podcast last year. It's almost been pretty much a year since we started talking about it. Then the whole COVID-19 happened. People going to school. You're going to school. I'm working.
Life.
My mental health went somewhere I never thought it'd go.
Same.
So things come up that are out of our control every day. However, there's nothing wrong with taking time for ourselves, but with fall right around the corner in Alberta, it's here now. I don't know. I just we felt like it was a good time to start this whole thing up. Still unsure if this is this a test run for now?
Oh, I am in this 100%.
Oh my gosh, now I'm nervous. If I leave, it's because I'm going to the washroom. I don't know why I said that, but it is poops.
Yeah, so just a warning moving forward with everything. Expect a lot of information to be divulged about us. We are very open people. So
I also used to be a healthcare assistant, so I've seen a lot and I've experienced a lot that I never thought I would. So
poops.
Yeah, Thanksgiving dinner tots isn't normal for me. No filter.
Mm-hmm. I would love to hear about that later.
It's not like a rude filter where I'm hurting, trying to hurt people's feelings or joke around like that, but I'm just literally nothing really phases me. So unless they're stupid people.
And then watch out.
Yeah, but everyone's definition of stupid is different, right? So I don't even really like that word because when people call me that, I feel really ugh. So we'll find another word for that word because as I'm wearing that on my shirt.
Ignorant is a good one. Naive, uneducated.
Emotionally driven, which there's nothing wrong with emotions. But when it comes to facts, they can really cloud a lot of things. Mm-hmm. This has been hard for me to admit because I'm an emotionally driven person, but it's true.
Agreed. I keep nodding my head and then forgetting that some people might just be listening to this. Yes.
She's
doing the yes
head.
Thing. Doing the
yes
thing.
Her head in agreement.
Yeah. So what's the name of our podcast, Trina?
I always feel like I say it weird, but the Empath's Brew, empathy, empath.
The Empath's Brew.
Yeah. This is the cup, our cup of, if we had a mascot, I guess it would be a cauldron. When we were talking about making this podcast video, whatever, I was drinking out of this mug. And we were trying to think of names, and I know sometimes that could be, we could figure that out later, but I really wanted to introduce what we're doing with the name, right? So I was like, well, what kind of stuff do I like? What kind of stuff does Nicolene like? I'm like, well, I love fall. We both love fall. I love like magic stuff and like natural things. I'm pretty hippie in my own way. And I looked at my mug, I'm like, brew. And brew could mean a lot of different things. It could be a mixture of stuff put together. It could literally be a brew. It could be a coffee. It could be a soup. It could be a mixture of ideas. And
You're missing the most important brew of all, the beer.
yes, the beer. If you hear a cat in the background, it's our upstairs roommate's cat, and she always meows when a door is closed. She doesn't necessarily want to go in there. She just meows, so that's what that is. But yes, the beer is important.
Super important to me. Nice to meet you guys. I'm Nikki. I like beer. That's all you need to know, really.
I'm Trina. I love coffee.
Are these our confessionals?
Confessionals. Is that a confession or is that just a fact or both? That same thing?
Brewaholics Anonymous.
We talked about really deep stuff, as you can tell. On that note, there are going to be topics that we discuss to do with like mental health, to do with our past, to do with other moments in life or whatnot. And we will have disclaimers about trigger warnings, things that could possibly trigger with people depression, like all these things, like just because we know what it's like to be triggered in our own way. We don't want to hurt somebody unintentionally or trigger somebody unintentionally. So we'll have disclaimers like that, just so you guys know, just in case.
Yeah, we'll write it in the description or something, or maybe the topic of the week. It will be included in the title, so you'll kind of know what to expect. But that being said, I think a lot of the topics that we're going to touch on, if you also experience the same kind of like wide array of mental health problems that can exist, I think it's going to be really helpful for a lot of you guys.
Yeah. By the way, you're doing really good at looking at the camera.
Trying so hard.
It's very difficult, side note, to get used to, especially like my camera's up here. It's that eventually.
Yeah, and please be patient with me, you guys. This is my first time ever trying to like put anything out online like this, really, of me speaking. So yeah, please be gentle and please be patient with me. I'm still trying to figure out everything, how everything looks, how everything sounds.
And if you're not, we just won't talk to you. Right away, anyway.
You're the best. You're a savage.
I'm just saying, if there's no value presented, why are we gonna fight back, right? There's no fight there. Maybe that person needs to watch our videos to enlighten themselves or become aware of things in their own life, right? So, yeah, we were just mainly trying to create this first episode as like an introduction, kind of talk about what we're going to be talking about. I can't sprechen today.
Sprechen.
So I guess we'll introduce more of the topics, like what kind of topics we'll be talking about. Nikki, if you want to touch on that.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, like we mentioned before, we're going to be talking about mental health stuff. So that will probably include, some depression stuff, anxiety stuff, talking about trauma, childhood traumas, reoccurring themes of trauma as you move throughout your life. We'll be talking about eating disorders, therapy, medication, going to the doctor, being your own advocate in the mental health world. And hopefully it's not all going to be like super heavy stuff. We're going to have some light topics in there, like why are women considered crazy? And go
Why
ahead, Trina.
shouldn't wear bras? Because they're uncomfortable.
Yes.
Embrace your small
Bits.
bits. I was like, what word should I use?
Bitties. Oh, there's so many different words you could use.
But
It's
if you
a
don't
wonderful
have
thing.
small bitties, it's a different story, I guess. Right. But like for those of us who are in that realm, like it took a while for me to embrace it. I used to wear the push-up bras and whatnot, and it's so uncomfortable. No, thank
Mm-hmm.
you. No, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Not worth it.
Stuff like that. It's not always going to be heavy stuff. If you do know me, though, I do love talking about that deep stuff. I get excited
Yes.
about it in a weird way, I know.
Yes. I think we both do. That's just kind of a part of our personality. We're very not so much into the small talk, and we really want to get to the heart of things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's jump right in. We were going to briefly go through a part of our like story and kind of what got us to this point where we want to share our story. That made sense.
Hmm.
I need her validation, so she needs to say, yes, Trina, that's what we're talking about.
Yes, Trina, it is time for the introductions.
I need validation. That's something I'm working on.
Oh, the wheels were turning in my head. I'm like, okay, what's my story? What am I going to say? Just getting a little bit of that anxiety brain, trying to plan away.
Well, especially if you're not used to like sharing stuff like this with people. I haven't for a while now, but it's your first time really. So it's like, what's too much? What's not enough? Should I be?
Mm-hmm.
All you gotta do is be you. Be
Mm-hmm.
you.
Aw.
Especially with the style that we're doing, we have more freedom in that way to just say what we want to say. If we make a mistake, we have the other person to correct the other person, or to help figure out what we said or should say or whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Would you like me to start?
Yes.
Okay. So, hi everybody. My name's Nicolene. Sometimes I go by Nikki, just like depending on my mood or whatever. I'm in my late 20s, currently living in British Columbia, Canada. Um, yeah, that's me. Now I'm freezing up a little bit. I feel like it's the first day of school and we're all like sitting in a circle.
That's why it's good to have both of us, because then you just, a trick that I like to do is like, you're talking to your friend. That's who we really want watching. Anybody to watch this. I'm just saying, it's made it easier for me to imagine you're talking to a friend. You're just having a conversation, introducing yourself, almost like you're journaling as well as another cat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know how often I like go up to my friends and say, "Hi, I'm Nicolene. I'm in my late 20s and it's like a cute little synopsis.
You could even start with once upon a time if you really want to. That helps. And if it also helps not to look at the camera this time, that's fine too. Just look at me or whatever.
Oh yeah, I had to get rid of my self view on the tablet because I felt last time it was really distracting and throwing me off. So I much prefer not to be able to see myself while doing this.
Yeah, I keep looking at myself. I'm kind of full of myself, I guess. Oh, look at my hair. Oh, pretty. That makes me sound really bad.
A beauty.
I'm not actually full of myself. Go.
Okay, yeah. So I'm really excited to be working in this format with Trina and talking about mental health and everything. This is just something that I've spent a lot of time thinking about over the past few years as I've been going through my journey of healing and self-discovery. And right now I'm studying as a psychology student. I'm actually in my third year of psychology, so that's really cool, learning about the brain and all that good stuff. So basically a little bit about me. When I was growing up, I was like the most anxious child ever. And I thought it was normal that you would go to school and not want to take your sweater off because you're so sweaty, and like staining your clothes. And not wanting to put my hand up and talk in front of class and all that kind of stuff. And I just always felt like I didn't like really fit in with like the status quo. Just always felt like I was on the outside. So that made things pretty difficult, with my anxiety and then with my depression later on. Like a lot of people, there were some unfortunate circumstances in my family dynamic that caused me to grow up really quickly, I would say. And grow up really quickly and take on a lot more responsibility for myself, before I was really ready for that. And just witnessing other shitty things. I'll definitely like give you guys more details later on. The more episodes that we do, I can get into some more like nitty gritty little things. But coming out of that, circling back, studying, doing all the fun things, mental health, going to therapy all the time and all that good stuff. And I've just found that a lot of the chats that Trina and I have are incredibly, incredibly important. And we talk about things that I don't really talk about that often with other people, just because she is willing to get deep and have heart to hearts. So I've just found that to be really therapeutic for me and a part of my healing journey. So I just think that there's like lots of good little nuggets of wisdom and truth that we can share with everybody. So I'm excited. And I might be talking really fast because sometimes I do that when I'm excited. I'm a Gemini, by the way, double Gemini sign. I'm Gemini sun and Gemini rising. So if that means anything to you, you either love it or you hate it.
Yeah, no worries. Gemini are great. I don't know much about other signs, to be honest. Okay. Sorry, I just got a little distracted there.
By the giant zucchinis, I think. They're distracting me too.
Well, I could just move them.
No, I like it. No, my friends.
There you go. No more distraction.
Replaced by a different kind of squash.
Like I paused the recording just so I wasn't too distracted while clicking around. But
yeah, and I just can I just relay to them what I was saying? Yeah, off the recording. Introducing myself like that is a major trigger for me, and it's just so anxiety provoking that I was just covered in sweat. So, but that's good that I have to do it, because there's times in your life when you have to introduce yourself, like in school settings or at work or whatever. So it was good. Sorry if I talk too fast.
No, you didn't talk. I don't think you talked too fast, but if you did, you apologized, so we're fine.
Might need to put subtitles.
Now I'm just I'm a little nervous. I don't even know where to start.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, no. It's just like when you start thinking, that's when you start freaking out.
Oh, yeah. So when do you not think? Never. You're actually always thinking, even when you're asleep.
I know. I think too much, apparently. That's why I have headaches in the morning. Whoa, I hit my mic. Oops.
So who is Trina?
Who am I? What am I? Why am I here?
Why are you? How are you? How are you? I'm sweaty.
I'm full. I'm nervous. So I'm actually from British Columbia as well. I used to live in the same town as Nitaline here. However, due to not so fun times in my life with involving money. I've had to move out to Alberta, but thankfully, like, that was not all for nothing, obviously. I met Quentin, my boyfriend, and all these great things have happened. But yeah, to start, I guess, like, I think it's important that we're doing this because of not only the knowledge that we have as individuals or whatever, but the stuff from our past will help empathize, empath, with hopefully other people who are listening to this. I grew up in long story short, broken family. My parents divorced when I was 13. There was a lot of verbal and physical abuse that happened before that time. Therefore, that's why they divorced. All this stuff was happening. I was just entering high school also when this was all happening. Obviously, back then, I didn't realize the effect it had on my life. I actually didn't really start grieving or going through any of the processes until like 2 years ago. Like, I've been probably grieving for about 4 or 5 years, but it really started hitting me when I got to a place where I felt super safe and secure and supported. The triple S, I guess. It's weird because when you're so used to all this chaos and all, like, obviously there's always bad stuff happening in our lives, but when you're so used to it, that's all you expect in your life. And it's hard to explain, but when you get to a place where you don't have to worry about that because you're in a safe and secure environment, your body, your subconscious, everything that you've been through, the trauma, everything tends to surface itself. And that's what it's done. It was like, hello, you forgot about me.
Here's your unresolved trauma.
Like, no, I do not want to deal with you. I thought I did all the drunken nights. I was crying and accusing people of cheating on me. No, I thought I was going through it because I put myself through so much grief, but it was not the right. It was self-imposed grief that I didn't have to go through. Side note, I'm the type of drinker back then in high school that if I drank too much, I was really sad. But
She was a sad girl.
I sat in puddles, let's just say that.
And I was too baked to really care.
Someone actually locked me in a car with them because I was so upset. And they wouldn't
yes, I remember that.
let me out.
For that.
I'm like, let me out of here.
that was the night that I ate 2 cookies.
Yeah.
Fun cookies. I was just floating on a cloud.
And I'm drowning.
Opposite ends of the spectrum.
But long story short, now that I've started going through all this and recognizing this trauma and whatnot, I've started going to therapy. Nikki's help. She's all the way in BC, and she's the one that found my therapist for me.
Oh, do you actually see her?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I also
I know that.
I think it was July that I started meds.
That sounds about right.
I went to the doctor because I've been dealing with headaches for long periods of time. Then they go away, then they come back, or I don't know how long I've been dealing with that. I think I told him like most of my life, but you know, when you're going through something, it could just have been a couple months. I don't really know. So he had me go through all these, assessments, and It turns out I have severe anxiety. Who would have known?
Never guessed that.
I've actually avoided going to doctors for this reason. Never wanted to. The last time I diagnosed myself. I didn't actually go to a doctor, and it made me feel like I was going crazy. Like, I literally felt like I was going crazy. Um, that was also when I was with my ex. So, um, yeah, I just really believe there's so much power in someone's story. Everyone has a story, and my theme is that I want people to realize that they're not alone. Going through this myself, starting meditation, realizing and learning to accept that maybe not all things are things are wired differently in my brain than other people's or whatever. Like, I've been through things that made it that way, that there's so many more people that are going through the same thing. Yeah, it may not be the exact same thing because we're all different, but we can all empathize with every single person to an extent. There's always something way to empathize with somebody else. And I feel like with Nicolene and I doing this, like, even without videotaping it or whatever, when her and I would get on calls, it's helped me feel like I'm not alone. And I want to hopefully push that out into your guys' hearts, whoever's watching this, and maybe you can do that for somebody else. And like, it's like the whole pay it forward thing, right? Ideally, it'd be awesome to create some sort of movement in that way that just comes with time and effort, and, well, not even effort, but time and consistency. But hopefully I can, you can, Nicolene can. I don't know who the third person is. I meant Nicolene, but hopefully we can, with what we're talking about, what we do talk about and are going to talk about, we'll be able to touch your heart or like help you become aware of something or encourage you to change something, whatever, if it needs changing, or accept something that you can't change. I just went on a whole tangent there. Sorry.
Yeah, no, don't be. That was really great. And I think I just want to add on to that first of all, I always think it's so interesting that while we're in the throes of our lowest moments, our darkest times, it really does feel like we are totally alone and that nobody understands and that you're so weird and that you're so broken, you're so damaged. All these thoughts run through your head, and when you reach the other side and you're looking back on it and you realize you had people there for you all along, and people can empathize with what you're going through because, like Trina said, everybody has their own struggle and everybody has a way that they can relate to you, right? We're all in this together. Nobody needs to be alone. We deserve to have a community. And I really hope that we can create a community where we feel safe to talk about this kind of stuff and to be vulnerable. That's really one of my biggest goals with doing this with you, Trina, is to, like you said, start a movement, start a community, just talk about our bullshit, put it all out there,
and to
air out dirty laundry.
Help people realize that what they're going through isn't bullshit, that what you're feeling, whether other people tell you it's big or small, it's valid, and you may not understand what you're feeling or why you're feeling it or how it came to be. I go through that so often where I get suddenly super like depressed or upset about something. I have these, like, I call them fits, where I just feel like all this energy is coming and I don't know how to let it out, and I feel like that's just probably pent up anxiety that I've never dealt with, and I don't understand why it's happening. But the thing that's calmed me down is not to try to figure out that why, because every time I've tried to figure out why it's happening, it gets worse. So I'm not saying not to look into what could be causing your problems or whatnot, but seek help from professionals, psychiatrists, therapists, doctors. Talk with friends, people that you trust and care about. Follow people that are experts in those fields. Those are things you can do, but learn to not put yourself down for not knowing why you're feeling something. And that with mental health and whatnot, that has really helped me get through my lowest lows and my I don't know why lows and I don't know what's happening depression sort of thing. Is just almost being a witness to what you're going through and be like, okay, I feel all this and that and this. I don't know why. That's okay. It's not okay because in the way that I don't like the feeling, but it's there. And there are things that Nicolene and I can talk about, will talk about, that you can do to help yourself get out of that feeling or just not love that feeling, but like love yourself during that moment.
Accept it, recognize that it's there, and not judge yourself for feeling like that. Like Trina said, just kind of take a step back and say, well, I'm feeling this. This sucks. This is what I'm feeling. And just become aware of it. And if you can get to that space, the more you practice doing that when you're in that heightened state of anxiety, depression, you're freaking out, you're getting angry, the more that you can step back and be like, whoa, I'm having a really intense emotion right now. You can breathe, you can let it pass by. Hopefully. For me, it took the assistance of going on medication as well to be able to really like get through to that point. It just takes a lot of persistence, and self-love is a major thing, like Trina was saying. Major.
That's how you can love yourself. And that's how you start to, it's like, I'm reading a book called, I had to check the title, In Love with the World, and it's about a monk who's trying to figure out who he is. And he's learned to create, he's learned to look at fear and you to look at those feelings, not as fear, but this is just an example, like fear is just an example I'm using right now, but you to look at those feelings as not your enemy. Obviously when we don't feel good, when we feel uncomfortable, when things happen that we don't want to happen, immediately it's like something bad, and you see it as your enemy, right? But
Yeah.
it's against what you want.
How do I fix this? This is wrong.
But the thing is not to jump to the idea that you have to see it that way. I know it sounds like kind of confusing, but how I've learned to get through this is not to view fear, not to view my anxiety, not to view my depression as my enemy. And so often I've like called my own mind my worst enemy, and that just made it worse. And it can feel like that. It can feel like your mind is literally working against you, especially if you like have really dark thoughts or things that you're going through. It can feel like the world and your own body is against you. But what's helped me get from that very, very lowest low is not seeing it as my enemy, not seeing whatever I'm going through as my enemy, but seeing it as a way for me to grow, for me to understand myself better, a way for me to get to know myself more, and it's also a way for you to connect with other people. I know that's like probably out of that moment's mind's eye thought, right? But after it all happens, this helps you connect to other people because so many other people are going through the same thing. And when you hear that somebody else is going through that, obviously we don't want other people going through that, but it's almost comforting in a weird way.
Oh yeah, and the amount of folks that suffer from a mental health condition these days, especially in our age range, it's just the numbers are growing. And they have been on an upwards trend for a while. So it is a lot more common than people think. And I personally think that one of the most troubling things about it is, for the most part, is something that people suffer with and it's totally invisible. Like you could be walking down the street and nobody would know that last night you were having really dark thoughts and, this or that, or even what you're thinking when you're walking down the street. No, they're not going to be able to see what you're dealing with. So that's why it's really important that we're talking about it, that we're getting on here, having this conversation and engaging with you guys. It's so important to make sure that nobody feels like they're alone.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how to top that. Oh, I'm not trying to top anything, but
Oh, and that's like, what was I going to say? Another huge benefit too of doing this podcast is I get to spend a lot of time with my best friend, and we're living in different provinces. And because of this whole COVID thing, I know that there were a few times that we're going to see each other over this past 6 months. It just didn't happen. So it's really nice to just be able to schedule it in and force ourselves to not be alone. And then we're even taking that a step further by expanding our bubble and trying to, welcome more people in. We're opening our arms up, coming for a hug, wearing hazmat gear. Virtual hug.
oh man.
It's a virtual hug.
Virtual hug.
I love hugging.
That's what I hope this whole thing that we're going to be doing will help make people feel like we're hugging them, that we're giving them a comfort or some sort of encouragement. Yeah, I just like we had this like little tangent right now where I just bottom line like not like learning not to feel bad for what you're feeling. I like that. I like that we touched on that. See, these are the kind of talks we have, and if you have somebody that you can talk to like this, like I'd encourage you to get on that like video chat. And if they're attracted to them as well, but be safe.
Oh, yes. Masks on, facing away from each other, limited amount of kissing. It's what the BCCDC recommends. They also recommended glory holes, which is just hilarious. Just hilarious. Be safe. Whatever you kids are up to, be safe. And yeah, just, with everything else that's going on right now too with COVID, just I think it's everybody's mental health is just going through something right now. So take care of yourself. Have these conversations. Listen to mental health podcasts. Meditate, exercise, eat good food, drink water, do all those good things for yourself, and just like relax a little bit when you can. You don't have to be productive all the time. Sorry, there's a little bing bing on my end.
Bing bing? I didn't hear it. But
okay, good. No, I thought that's why you paused.
I was just going to say that's something I have a hard time with, is not being productive all the time. I told myself this yesterday night, and I told my roommate that today I was going to do nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And I've been trying to like watch a movie for the past 3 weeks, and I haven't yet.
Well, that's good for you. I watch I binge watch things every single day.
That's awesome.
That is my skill, is binge watching Netflix and Prime, and what is the other stuff?
Hulu. Do you have Hulu? Crave?
Yeah. Got all the gadgets
Oh,
Disney stream.
oh my god, I wish I had Crave right now because RuPaul's Drag Race is on there.
Oh.
Yin.
Yin.
Yin yin.
What is that? What does that mean?
Don't you remember yin? Yin means yes. Remember yin and nin? Dude, don't you remember people used to say yin biddy for yes buddy or yeah buddy? Yin biddy?
When?
Oh god, when we were in high school, I think.
Oh, those are maybe.
I am not sure.
Quinn was making me. Quinn, that's my niece. Quentin was showing me a package of sausages, and he's like, "Are these garbage?" I'm like, "No, I just made them yesterday."
Oh my god, my roommate one time. So I make like homemade veggie broth. I'll save all the veggie scraps and everything and put it in the freezer, and then put it in like a cheesecloth bag and cook it on the stove with some other stuff. I was doing that one time and he sees me doing that. He's like, "What are you doing with all that garbage?" I'm making broth, okay? It's not garbage. It's delicious, nutritious vegetable scraps. Okay? I'm getting some minerals and vitamins. Okay?
Vitamins.
Not garbage.
Compost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess I would be putting that stuff in the compost if I wasn't making broth with it, but broth is better. At least for right now, because we don't have like our own composting facility, which we want one day. That'd be really cool, so we can like put in our garden and stuff.
I have like one of those tumbler ones, the ones that you spin.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Did you just get it this year?
Yeah. It was like
nice.
$99. That was it.
Yeah.
And it's like this big. And what? Oh, I was just saying like the things you get excited about as an adult. I got so excited yesterday about buying this new like scent that Tide has for laundry. I was like, "Whoa, this is exciting."
That's so cute. That's so cute. And that's such a skill to be able to appreciate like the small things in life like that. Like the fact that you can get excited over a Tide scent that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You've got to find happiness wherever you can, right?
Yeah.
But no, I'm excited about the compost bin for you too. So are you going I have more questions about it.
What are your questions? Maybe we can help people with composting.
So you just were throwing in all of your green bin stuff this year, and are you going to turn it over the winter and then use it next year?
If it's ready.
If it's ready, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I need a worm update. When you see worms in there, let me know.
Ugh. I know worms are great for gardening, but people are afraid of spiders. I'm afraid of worms. They freak me out. When I was a kid, I had a huge cut in my hand or whatever. You know, things change as the years go on. It might have been a small cut, but
well, I mean, in proportion to your body, you were smaller then.
This is all I remember is that I had a cut in my hand and I was holding a worm, and then my family made me believe that the worm went inside my hand.
That's horrifying. That's horrifying.
I used to, like, when it was raining and I had to walk to school, or even after school, even past high school, if it was raining outside, I would always be looking down to make sure I'm not stepping on any worms. Not for their safety, but because I was grossed out. But now it took me a while to get out of that and over that in a way.
Yeah. And we live in
someone,
Canada. We don't have worms like that.
If someone were to throw a worm at me, I'd probably freak out.
But we don't have worms like that.
What do you mean worms like that?
That's actually a thing in some places where they have those little parasitic worms that will like climb up into people's feet.
Yeah, well, I thought an actual earthworm went into me.
Oh God, no.
That's why earthworms scare me. Because,
Okay, I'll chop them up for you. That's what I
oh,
used to do when I was a kid. I would chop off one end and then wait to see it if it would wiggle both ways because it kind of like regrows back, right?
ah,
Oh no, that's not what it does. When you cut it in half, both of them start moving. So I would like chop them and see like how small I could get them. I
Nibbling's just the
science.
jester of worms.
Science. I was just really curious. I was really curious. I'm pretty sure I ate dirt at one point too. Oh, I definitely ate leaves just
Oh,
to
I thought
see.
you were gonna say 8 worms. I'm like, oh no! Oh,
Just
please.
slicing them.
Oh,
Well, I can't say no definitively because like maybe I did. Who's to say? I don't remember if I did, but I don't think that I did. Who knows? The memory is a mysterious thing.
yeah, I love gardening, but I hate worms. Figure that out. Mind
Sorry,
you,
that's a little gross.
like my strawberries, I like this is my first time growing fruits, vegetables. There must have been worms or something because almost every
Oh
single
shoot.
strawberry had a hole in it, and I'm like, I'm not gonna eat this in case there's a worm in there.
Shoot. Yeah, no, of course.
But
Of
yeah, my
course, yeah.
zucchinis did well, and my pumpkins are doing well. I love everything pumpkin, by the way. I got pumpkin lotion. I have pumpkin spice
Hmm.
spray, body spray. I have pumpkin spice deodorant. I have pumpkin spice coffee creamer. Yeah.
Yum. Have you had the cold brew with the
Yeah.
pumpkin spice creamer from Starbucks? Yeah. I'm
So
really excited because now they have oat milk at Starbucks.
yes, I'm
So
so
I'm
excited. Oat
excited.
milk is the best milk ever.
I agree.
And it's so
100%.
far the best for the environment, if I'm correct.
So they say.
So they
Yeah.
say.
I think it is, but it's wonderful and
It is.
creamy,
I just got clarification that it is from the
apparently.
researcher, apparently. Because I
um,
think I like if anyone's ever made almond milk, like you need a lot of almonds just to make
mhm,
that much, and then it lasts like 3 days.
mhm.
I'm like,
It's so good. I
it is.
love the taste of almond milk because it's got like that like true nutty, like earthy taste, and that with espresso. Oh, it's so good. But I don't really drink it at all anymore. It's so good. Mwah, coffee.
Yeah, oat milk kind of reminds me, and I know this is probably gonna sound gross, but you know the milk that is left over after your cereal? That's
Mm.
what it kind of tastes
Hmm.
like.
What kind of cereal?
Like mini wheats.
Mm.
I know,
Mm. I
definitely more
like
quality
it.
cereal milk.
I like it. Yeah, they've made such progress with non-dairy milks. I just want to see that roll over into the cheese area of things too. Like, oh yeah, I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
Yeah, I
Have
had
you?
what?
Oh, you go ahead. I
Oh,
was just
no,
gonna
your
getting
thoughts. Your thoughts
excited
on the
about
topic. Tell me, have I?
getting excited about vegan food. Have you've had like that plant-based burger? What's it called?
Beyond Meat?
The Beyond Meat. Yeah,
It
it's so good.
it tastes really good. I've tried it with like making pasta and stuff. I don't know. I think it's too salty.
Ah,
Um, but I don't add salt to like anything. So
oh,
I'm
okay.
that type of person where I probably wouldn't. It'd be bland to other people. That's
Yeah.
what I think. So, um, yeah, my eating is pretty bland anyway, because I don't know. I just eat to survive. I had the on that topic. I had a coworker call me out, a friend of mine,
Ah,
yesterday. We were talking about food, and we were talking about how I'm really picky with cheese, and then she was like, "You don't like food anyway." I'm like, You don't like eating anyway. I'm like, oh yeah. Like it's not like I don't eat. I eat, but it's just I'm trying to eat healthy, and it's just so easy just to eat like raw vegetables and not cook it or add anything to it. I'm really lazy with my food. So, but I do eat fries and steak like almost every night. Just
My
saying.
stomach just grumbled. Oh, such a good combination. I've been really into putting like horseradish on top of steak lately. I haven't had it I haven't had steak in such a long time, but I love horseradish and just like a little bit of it right on top of your steak is so good.
I was vegan for only like 4 or 5 months. I've been vegetarian for a while, and then I kind of stopped because I couldn't really be picky with my food because I had no money. So I had to eat whatever people gave me, right? Uh
Yeah,
I
that would sorry.
no, that was what tell me. Tell me.
I was just gonna say that is definitely a topic that's on our list of things that we want to discuss because that could be a whole episode, right?
Oh yeah, this one's kind of like almost all over the place just because for like there's gonna be episodes like this period where it's gonna be kind of just checking in all over, but then the majority is probably gonna be some research based stuff. I'm gonna have to do more research because Nicoline's like the powerhouse knowledge person here. I'm more common sense.
I just always have my nose in a book. That's my happy place.
I always have my nose in a new book. I always start a
Smells
book
good.
and then I don't continue. Like, oh, I'm bored. Okay, let's start another one.
Shiny thing. Ooh.
I probably have like 6 books on the go, but like it's at the point where I have to restart some of them.
Yeah,
Oh well.
I do that too.
But yeah, I think we're gonna end this episode one. Um, I'm not going to apologize for how all over the place it is. You don't have to watch us talk. You can just listen. um,
That's what happens when you make art sometimes. It gets a little messy.
it gets a little messy. Oh, you can see my sideburns. I need to hide that.
What?
I don't know. Like I get my face waxed all the time, but the lady didn't wax my sideburns, and now they're just there and they look funny. So
You're beautiful. No matter what.
I just don't like hair.
I was plucking my chin hairs today.
Me too. Every day. I'm like, it's weird. I almost get excited when I see one. I'm like, haha.
Yes, get it out. Get that shit out. Yes. Yeah, no, not going to apologize. It was all over the place because, yeah, we're getting used to this. And hey, that's just how it's going to be sometimes. It's conversational, you know?
Hey.
And if we don't have anybody keeping us on topic or on track, we're going to go wherever we want to go. You know, that's just our vibe. That's just our vibe. We can chit chat for hours, and we have definitely. We've had some 3-hour calls before, which have just fabulous.
Yeah, this whole idea is to not get stressed about it and whatnot. And I have a channel, and this will be posted to the channel until you and me figure out like we're gonna make our own or whatever eventually. And I haven't posted for a while because it just got to a point where I felt like it was a chore. And it's like when like this kind of style of talking like with another person, it's just to me it's so much easier. And yeah, we will have topics to talk about, but it's not always going to stay on track 100%. If something pops up that is on our hearts like mid conversation, we're going to talk about it because we need to stay true. And I encourage you to stay true to yourself and how you feel and what you want to talk about or distress with other people or right in
Yeah.
your right. So
Yeah. And if you folks have any topics of conversation that you want us to address or questions for us that you want us to answer, please let us know. That'd be great. We love to do that.
I will have my Instagram below this. You can send questions for our channel there. Slide into my DMs, they say.
Oh wow.
Not
Spicy.
like that, because I'll
So
probably
spicy.
ignore you or delete your message or delete your message.
Or forward it to me. Just kidding. Just kidding. Jokes. I'm in a committed relationship, so just thought I should throw that in there.
No, I was like, when you said that I would forward it to you, I thought I was just gonna screenshot it and show you. Well, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was a bit of a wild ride, bit of a bumpy one.
Definitely.
Good adventure.
Some pauses. Some trying to figure out what to say next.
Yeah.
We'll get into the flow.
Oh yeah.
And
For sure. Exactly. Yeah. I hope you guys really enjoyed listening to us. I really enjoyed this whole process. Can't wait for the next episode with you, Trina.
And we're gonna probably be posting like once a month for now, just to get the hang of things.
That's our goal.
Just realistically, we're all, busy.
Yeah. Yes. I'm never too busy to talk to you.
No, it's priorities, I know. But realistically, like, we can go weeks without talking with each other. So that's why we've decided once a month for now, and then we'll see how it goes. The amount of people watching this will also determine it too, like subscribe, comment, share your thoughts.
Please comment. Please chat with us.
We want to socialize. Okay.
Friends.
Okay.
Let's all be friends, please.
We're gonna say goodbye now.
Thanks for listening and watching the Empath Brew.
First episode.
Yeah, baby.
Bye.
Bye.